When we first started the third wave microdosing course, we enrolled about 350 people into the course initially, and we really worked with them closely to understand what is it that they wanted to see. And one of the things that was in highest demand was how to properly measure and dose a microdose of two specific substances, LSD and psilocybin mushrooms. So in today's first video, we're going to go over that process of how you properly measure and dose your substance so that you can get the ideal experience that you want out of your microdosing protocol. So the best way to calibrate your dose level is to start low and go slow. So a typical microdosing protocol is about 2 times per week. So if you have a day 1 where you take a microdose, with psilocybin mushrooms, it might be 0.1 grams of psilocybin mushrooms. You start there, you notice how it affects you, you take a couple days break, and then on day 4, you microdose again. Or instead of 0.1 grams of psilocybin mushrooms, you take 0.2 grams of psilocybin mushrooms. And what this does, it allows you to understand how those different dose levels are affecting the way that you interact with people around you, with your work, with whatever it might be that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So then once you're getting a sense for that calibration, what works best for you, then you want to move into a self-tracking spreadsheet. What you want to put in there is just the amount that you took on day 1 and any observations of what you noticed happening. And ideally, after working with this system for a couple weeks, you'll know what is the right amount for you when you're microdosing. So we're also going to talk about how you properly measure and dose psilocybin mushrooms. Now, psilocybin mushrooms are more complex than LSD. LSD is LSD, and you can easily volumetrically dose it. But with psilocybin mushrooms, there are over 200 psychoactive species of psilocybin mushrooms that, if consumed, will engender some sort of psychoactive change. The one that we'll focus on today is the most common, Psilocybe cubensis, but there are also Psilocybe mexicana, there are Psilocybe, various other things, but we're focusing on cubensis. There is a stem and a cap with the mushroom, and oftentimes the psilocybin is more highly dense in the cap compared to the stem. So if you're just eating caps and stems as a way to microdose, it's probably going to be pretty inaccurate. So the way that we can make it much more accurate is by grinding it out. So we'll go ahead and we'll measure some out. You'll need, for a microdose of mushrooms, about 0.1 grams to 0.5 grams. So to save time for this, you could just maybe measure out like 3.5 grams of mushrooms. You're going to take that and you're going to put it in the blender, and then you're just going to blend up the mushrooms until they reach an even consistency. And then you can take that even consistency and you can put it in the gelatin capsules, where you might measure it out 0.1 gram and 0.1 gram and 0.1 gram, or you can do 0.2 gram, 0.2 gram, 0.2 grams. Again, it just depends on the amount of mushroom that you want to microdose with. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to stay up to date on the third wave of psychedelics, subscribe to this channel and visit thethirdwave.co, where you'll find plenty of free resources on intentional and responsible psychedelic use.